bringing you One Piece review, chapter 747, highest executive pica. What? I'm still trying to process it in my head right now. I was not expecting that. I was really not expecting that at all. So the chapter starts out with everything still going crazy in Dressrosa, obviously, because the fighters from the Colosseum who were underground and toys have now left the underground through the Colosseum and are coming out and spreading into the city. And it seems like the main fighters who decided to follow God Usopp are actually sticking to it and going after the factory, because you've got this first wave which you see the Giant and Don Chinchao, and they're going in the direction that the kind of factory went in. So it's safe to say that that's where they're going, because there's another group who are going after God Usopp that you see later on in the chapter. Maynard, the guy who got beaten up by Bartolomeo, he's being told off by Bastille for being reckless and infiltrating when he shouldn't have, and he says, "Oh, but because of that, I've seen things, man. We need to take out Doflamingo. The world will tilt if we do." Koala is looking for where the weapons might be coming from, and she actually finds a pirate ship that looks like a pirate ship but is actually a ship from the Doflamingo Kingdom. I'm not sure if that will come into play anytime soon, but it's one of those things that you see, you just think, Doflamingo Kingdom, that sounds like it's going to be important. It might not be, but nothing is ever not important in One Piece, let's face it. Fujitora is getting well angry at things. He's like annoyed at the fact that Doflamingo was able to get away with this for so long, and he's like, just do what I say and follow me. And he says, like, is the world government God? But I guess what he means is, who's the world government to decide to let criminals like this to run free, basically, is what I think he's trying to say. So he's getting angry and he's going off on his own one to find Doflamingo, we presume. And then we go to the palace-like area where Doflamingo and his family are. And they're all apologising, saying, "Oh, we messed up, we did bad, Dofi, forgive us." And Doflamingo is very forgiving. He's like, "Guys, it's all in the past." And this was literally about 5 minutes ago that Treble and Diamante messed up completely. And Doflamingo's like, "Yeah, it's all in the past, I forgive you, we all make mistakes, let's move on." Also, he destroys the keys to the factory, saying like, "Oh, we can't give our enemies hope." I'm not sure what the point of that was, because we know someone's going to break into the factory eventually, and the keys are just useless. So how that'll be opened, I don't know. But that's something. So then Doflamingo's talking about finishing off Fujitora and everyone else who might survive, and saying, "Oh, I'll deal with Fujitora," and people like that. And then all of a sudden you get Pica, you know, the big burly guy, and he turns around and is like, "If you let me go all out, I'll be enough alone." Oh, sorry, he didn't say that though. He said, "If you let me go all out, I'll be enough alone." Pica has got a really high voice, because it's pointed out in the chapters that they're like saying, "Whoa, his voice is really high. I did not see that coming. I expected like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, not someone sucking helium." Someone laughs, and Pica's face drops, and he's like, "I will bury you under the stones." But before he can, Baby 5 jumps in and blows them up, and says, "Oh, I had to get rid of them for you. If you did it, there'd be nothing left. I wanted to be nicer to the family this way." So Pica is a monster, presumably, if he would literally leave nothing behind. And then Doflamingo says something which I found very interesting. He says, anyone who laughs at my family, I will not forgive them. He also says that he lost his mother when he was 8 and he killed his dad when he was 10. And that the executives are his actual now, they're his family now. He doesn't need anyone else, and if anyone laughs at his family, he won't forgive them. Which is really nice, and you start to think, wow, Doflamingo, even though he's a bit of an ass, doesn't seem that bad. He cares about his crew as much as Luffy cares about his, you know, and that's something I really think it's nice to see that, you know, even though this is the bad guy, he's still in his own right not that bad a guy. He cares about Peter's family, the people close to him. I think that's good. I was wrong last chapter when I said Frankie was probably helped by Kuros. He wasn't. He got up of his own accord and went off towards the factory. He's going to attack the factory with one of his Kizaru beams. Kamehameha! So Frankie's going hard. Also, MacVice, Senior Pink and Dellinger, they're having their little conversation. Luffy, Zoro and Law drop down from the sky into the middle of them and this huge crowd of people. Luffy's there like, oh, this was a bad place to land. And Law is brilliant again, as usual. He's just there like, Straw Hat, once I get out of these chains, you are going to be the first person I kill. He's so tired of this. Law has had enough. He wants to go home, go to bed. He wants to just go down to the pub, have a nice pint, and wait for this whole thing to blow over. He's done. He's officially fed up of this entire thing, and he's showing it. And then you get a little fight scene in which it would be so uncomfortable to be Law. He's on Luffy's shoulder, being thrown around left, right and centre, because Senior Pink grabs Luffy's legs. Luffy starts to fall, but he kind of leaps forward, and MacVice comes down and crushes Luffy's feet. Even though he can't be crushed, he kind of traps them. And then Dellinger goes to kick Luffy, but Zoro pushes him out the way, and he ends up kicking MacVice. And Luffy gets free and they escape. So presumably Dellinger's got a broken foot from kicking MacVice. MacVice has got a sore rear end from being kicked by Dellinger. And Senior Pink, even though he can swim in the ground, I kind of want to think he was crushed under MacVice. But we'll see what happens there. So then, they're escaping and Fujitora shows up. So now we're going to get what looks like Zoro versus Fujitora. If we do get this, I don't know. It might kind of veer off and we might get someone else, because we thought we were going to get Zoro versus Fujitora before and we didn't. I'm just saying I don't want to get my hopes up, because I know I'll probably be let down, and even though it would be good to see them fight, I feel like it's still too soon for that. So we'll see. And then Robin is going to the plateau to meet up with the others, but I can't remember if I have no idea if that's where Doflamingo and his family are. I feel like it is, but I have no idea because everything's changed, the layout's changed. I have no idea where anything is anymore. Sabo's disappeared. He's got off on one. And then he rises. Pica rises. What a voice. And he's like, I'll deal with anyone who opposes the family. Luffy hears this, and because obviously Pica is like the size of a 5-story building now, made of rock, and his voice is blasting out, everything's quiet, and Luffy's just there bursting into laughter. And Pica just turns around and he's like, Straw Hat! So yeah, we're going to get Luffy versus Pica. That's going to be awesome. I don't know how it's going to work, because Pica's a giant rock golem and Luffy's a tiny rubber man compared to him. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see what happens. What do you guys think will happen? Do you think, well, we know that Pica will not beat Luffy, but what do you think will happen? Do you think Luffy will easily beat Pica, or do you think Doflamingo will come to save Pica when things get a bit too rough? Yeah, tell me what you think. Also, where do you think Sabo went? That's interesting. Yeah, and I will see you Saturday. Video on Saturday, guys. Video on Saturday. Okay, bye.